So, here we are today to study Unit 11, that is That Little Square Box. Now, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a British writer famous for his stories about the brilliant detective Sherlock Holmes. The stories broke new ground in crime fiction. His other works include fantasy and science fiction stories, plays, romances, poetry, non fiction, and historical novels. Some of his other famous books are The Lost World and The White Company. So, the author of this story that you are going to learn is none other than Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who is writer of Sherlock Holmes. I don't know whether you have heard of it. Sherlock Holmes are the most famous detective stories available. It is good that if you can read it. Now, detective stories, without me telling you know what is like some mysterious finding out. Okay? Detecting something or some kind of crime or anything very mysterious type of thing. Something which others cannot find out. It's very interesting, challenging, and thrilling stories are this kind. Okay, to know the end of a story, like you are going through and finding out what is what, so that kind story. So this is another that kind of a detective story. So let's go to the story. The speaker is a nervous man traveling from America to England on board the ship Spartan. So the one who is speaker in this story is very nervous man or frightened man traveling from America to England on ship Spartan. He sees two men board the ship at the last minute. So he saw two men getting into the ship last moment and is immediately suspicious. He is doubtful of the strange object they are carrying and their secretive manner. Something they are hiding, something strange. As it is, they got into the ship last moment, and added to that, they are carrying something that is very strange and it is very secretive. Hiding, they are bringing something inside. What are the two men planning? Will the speaker be able to stop them? Read on to solve the mystery of that little square box. There is a little square box, that is what they are carrying. Will the speaker of this story be able to stop them committing that crime or whatever it is? So we go to the story. We were fairly started upon our voyage. Just we started fairly voyage. The ship started moving. There was general rush among the passengers in search of berths. Berths, you know, no? In the train, you have berths, the sleeping place. So, like that, in the ship also they have. These are very olden times. Just like in the train, they have seating, they have bedding. So, they are searching for the berths. A pile of luggage was lying on one side of the deck. Deck means the top part of the ship. The luggage was piled up on one part, awaiting their turn to be taken below. So, as they arrange, their luggage will be taken. First, the luggages are piled on the top, maybe, and then it was taken to each one below. With my usual love for solitude, solitude means a state of being alone. The speaker enjoys. So he usually likes to be alone on journeys. Maybe on ship he likes to sit and watch the sea, or like to sit and think or to write or anything. So he usually loved the loneliness, the solitude. I walked behind these and sat on a coil of rope between them and the vessel's side. Vessel means ship. So he went and sat on a coil of rope. There was a rope that was coiled, rounded, and kept. So he went and sat there quietly. I was aroused from my daydreams by a whisper behind me. Suddenly, he was awakened from his daydream. He was sitting and imagining during the daydreams, like some of you do in the class, no? When the class is going on, also you will be dreaming. That is called daydream. You may not be attentive. So, this man also was sitting and having his own thinking, his own dream. Suddenly, he woke up from that with a whisper, means with a soft speech he could hear behind him. "Here is a quiet place," said the voice. "Sit down and we can talk it over in safety." So somebody is whispering like this. Here is a quiet place. They want to keep something. There is something, some kind of plot, some kind of planning is going on. Glancing through a gap between two colossal chests, see in the picture as you see, colossal means huge, extremely large. Chest means it's a box made of wood. See in the picture, one man looking from behind, that is colossal chest. I saw that the passengers who had joined us at the last moment were standing on the other side of the pile. So he could see these passengers standing on the other side. They had failed to see me as I crouched in the shadow of the boxes. Crouched means making yourself small and hiding. So these so-called passengers will not see him. So he was crouching himself. The one who had spoken was a tall and very thin man with a blue-black beard and a colorless face. So the person who spoke looked very thin and tall, and he had a black beard and a colorless face, means without any kind of expression. So very, very mysterious look he had. His manner was nervous and excited. Little bit nervous and he was excited, both together. Now his companion was a short little fellow. As you see in the picture, there was another man with a brisk air. Brisk air means a kind of very quick and practical and determined. Like some people are quick in making decision, very practical in thinking. So such kind of a person. They both glanced round uneasily. Glanced means to look suddenly. Suppose when you are copying, no, for the exam, and you will look right and left suddenly whether the teacher is observing or not. So like that, as if to make sure they were alone. So he wanted to make sure that no one was there and watching. "Well, Muller," said the taller of the two, "we have got it about right enough." So the taller man said to Muller, that is how he called the other man, "Well, we have got it aboard." Aboard means on board, on ship. Right enough. We are on the right place. We have managed to get these things inside. "Yes," agreed the man whom he had addressed as Muller. It was rather an year ago. So he said, "Yes, how we managed to get in? Because the ship was about to move. It wouldn't have done to have missed the ship. No, it would have put our plans out. If only we had missed the ship, our plans would have been spoiled. Now we don't know what they are planning." "Let me see it. Is no one looking?" "No, they are nearly all below." He said, "Nobody is watching. Everyone is below." "We can't be too careful where so much is at stake, Flanagan." So the other man, one is named as Muller and the other one man was Flanagan. So we can't be too careful where so much is at stake, means situation where something important of the plan is not successful, so we cannot be too careful in such kind of a situation, said Muller, and he laid a dark object upon the deck. They had something dark in their hand. One glance at it was enough to cause me to spring to my feet with an exclamation of horror. Just one look at the box, the writer, the author, the person who is the speaker, jumped onto his feet with a horror, got so scared, he was so nervous with the one look at it. Luckily, they were so engrossed in the matter on hand that neither of them observed me. So, both of them, they were so interested, they were so much into their thing, so that they did not take notice on who was around. So much they were busy with that particular box of what they have to do. From the first moment of their conversation, I had felt a horrible sense of misgiving. So, misgiving means a doubt or fear about whether what is happening is right. So, he had a kind of doubt from the beginning onwards when he saw them. It seemed more than confirmed as I gazed at what lay before me. So, from the beginning, he had a kind of doubt, and when he saw what they kept down in front of him, he confirmed it. He was very sure there is something fishy about, there is something going to happen. It was a little square box. Please underline what it was. It was a little square box made of some dark wood. That is the thing. A small square box with a dark wood. It reminded me of a pistol case. Pistol means, gun. A small one. People use it for the safe protection. It is not as huge as gun, but a small one. So it looked like a pistol box. Only it was much higher. Only it was a bigger in size. There was a trigger-like arrangement upon the lid. Triggering means just pulling like, if you shake it, it will open. That kind of an arrangement was on the top of it, on the lid, to which a coil of string was attached. There was a string on the lid, and if you pull that, it will open. That kind of arrangement was on the top. Coil means, the rope is rounded. That's called coil. Besides this trigger, there's a small square opening through the wood. There was a square opening also was there near that trigger. The tall man Flanagan, as his companion called him, peered in for several minutes with an expression of intense anxiety upon his face. So the tall man was looking through this for a quiet few minutes and was a lot of intense anxiety. He was so anxious. He was so frightened. There was a lot of restlessness on the face of that man, as if whether it is going to be successful plan that they are going to work out. So all this fear was on his face. I tried not to shake it, said his companion. So he said, yes, I was trying hard not to shake it. Such delicate things need delicate treatment. Put in some of the needful, Muller. So he said, it's a very delicate. Delicate means something which has to be taken care so much. Such kind of a thing, we need to handle it so delicately. You cannot play with it. So now you do one thing, put that needful thing. What is needed to put inside, you do it. The shorter man looked in his pocket for some time and then produced a small paper packet. So the taller man, Flanagan, told Muller, put what you are supposed to put in it. So the other man looked in his pocket and he took a paper packet. He opened this and took out half a handful of whitish grains which he poured down through the hole. So he opened that and took something like a grain, white in color, and he put it through the hole. A curious clicking noise followed from the inside of the box, a kind of unusual click type of noise he could hear, and both men smiled in a satisfied way. "Look out! Here is someone coming," said Flanagan. "Take it down to our berth. We won't need it until tonight, and it will be safe there." So he said, "See, somebody is coming, carry it down to our berth, and we don't need it till night. It wouldn't do to have anyone suspecting what our game is, or worse still, have them fumbling with the box and letting it off by mistake." So he said, it wouldn't do to have anyone suspecting. Nobody will doubt us what game we are going to have, or no one is going to handle it very carefully, or putting it down and letting it out by mistake. So no one is going to do that. And the two men laughed with a cold, harsh laugh before bearing the mysterious little box away with them. Mysterious, mystery, something which you cannot understand. That is mystery. Like in the killings and all, no? Or the murder, we don't know. Like some kind of killing, police takes so long time to find out who killed, who really committed the crime. It's mysterious. So Sherlock Holmes stories are famous for such kind of mystery attached to it. So same way here also, the box which is very mysterious, they carried. How long I remained sitting on that coil of rope, I shall never know. Now the speaker of the story, he was iced, like he was so nervous. He knew something is going to happen. So he even forgot how long he sat in that place. I tried to recall the words which had spoken in the terrible dialogue I had overheard. So he was trying to recollect to his mind what these people had spoken quite long. He was just repeating and trying to hear it, their conversation. Could these facts lead to any other conclusion? He is wondering what is really going to happen. It was clear to me that they were the desperate agents of some group. One thing he was sure, that they were desperate. Desperate means a kind of restlessness. They wanted to do something. They are agents of something. By anyhow, they have to accomplish some project. Who intended to sacrifice themselves? Who intended, their intention, their plan was to sacrifice themselves, their fellow passengers, and the ship in one great explosion. Explosion means, the bomb blast. So our speaker concluded that obvious, these are the men who are going to sacrifice themselves, like human bomb. I don't know whether you have heard of it. Like Rajiv Gandhi was killed. The one who killed him was a human bomb. They tied the bomb to herself and went, and it's a kind of remote bomb. The time is set. It's like a alarm. So of that correct setting, the time set, at that time the person will explode with the bomb. They also will die. They will kill others also. So that is called human bomb. So the speaker thought that these people also are certainly of that kind of agency, where they will kill themselves and also the people in the ship with one great huge explosion. Explosion means bomb blast.